What is up, everybody? Steve here. I hope you are doing well. This is the first time I'm using StreamYard, so bear with me if I'm making any mistakes with this new platform. A couple things that I want to go over today in terms of the opportunities that I foresee coming. First off, I do want to talk about some of the videos that I've been putting out, and I know that there's some people in the comments section or whatever the case is, they're saying, we're broken records and we've been calling certain things for a long time. And I think the whole point of this channel is for you guys, as well as myself, is to take the information that we're getting and to prepare. And I'm not trying to bring information that's pertaining to right now, today, in most cases. I'm trying to bring information to you guys that are basically figuring out probabilities for the future, because it's so vital that we're preparing right now for our futures. And what I see coming right now is, unfortunately, it's going to be a bombshell for many people. And those who are prepared, it's going to be the greatest opportunity of our lifetimes. And this is why I want to make this live stream today, because I want to talk about what we do know right now and also where I think we're headed. So I just watched the talk with Peter Gettler. He's the president of Cato, and he had Powell on. I'm not sure if you guys took a look at it. If you guys did, comment in the section below. But basically, just type in Peter Gettler Cato with Powell, and you guys will watch it. It was only about 45 minutes. But basically, he's telling us what they're doing. It's plain as day. And then we have to receive that information and then figure out how is it going to affect us right now, but also in the future. Because if we can figure out what the future is going to look like, we can better prepare ourselves. And I'm telling you, those who are prepared right now, and a lot of you guys that have been on my channel for a while, I really appreciate you guys. And I think that a lot of you guys that are watching are preparing. And before I get into in terms of what we know, let me know too if you guys want me to talk about, or actually bring you guys into meetings that I've been going into. In terms of preparing, I had 3 different team meetings in terms of different categories that we're working on. That's going to be our investing, future investments, investing right now, what we're doing to prepare for that, property management in terms of handling properties for other people, as well as sales. And if you guys want to see some insight into that, let me know, because I will start bringing the camera with me and actually videotaping us, our team, our conversations. Let me know if you guys have interest in kind of peeping into that, because right now I'm going to kind of scale back in the amount of videos that I'm doing, because I have a lot of work. I have people that depend on me as well. And I think it makes sense that I bring you guys into meetings, show you guys what's going on, and then bring you guys through the deals, bring you guys through what we're doing to prepare, and also what we're doing to generate income and everything else. So what do we know right now based on the conversations with Powell? For one thing, the Fed's going to keep continually increasing the Fed rate, and that's just going to make money more expensive. And directly or indirectly related are going to be mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are going to continue to rise as well. We have high inflation. Obviously, the Fed's trying to combat that. We're in a recession, despite what they're doing to try to change the narrative on that. And Powell said it today, and he said it in the past as well. They're rolling off $95 billion every single month. And this is going to be over for the next 2 years. So what does that mean? Basically, what got us into this mess was a huge supply of money coming into the system, as well as artificially cheap debt. And now they're going to just restrict money. They're going to restrict money out of the system. And what is that going to do for us? That's the question that is on everybody's minds. Me personally, I'm preparing for basically pulling money out of the system. And I'm preparing it by having money on the sidelines. So I want to get into an article that I was reviewing because it's a telling sign, and I lived it in the last great financial crisis. I lived it, I went through it, and I see it again, and I see it happening. And basically, it goes on to say during the pandemic, millennials and Gen Zers moved back home with their parents while campuses were closed and layoffs were heavy. These were nicknamed boomerang kids. Flash forward 2 years later, 67% of those who went back home have stayed there. They did not move back out. Now, the last, the great financial crisis, this crisis, I believe, is going to be way worse. The last crisis, I moved in with my sister for a period of time. I was one of those people. I actually ended up living in my office for a period of time as well. Not only that, as a real estate broker, I partook in helping people avoid foreclosure by doing hundreds of short sales. And it was trying times for sure, but I sat down with these people and helped them to strategize as well in terms of where were they moving to. Now, some of them, and I mentioned this previously, and I think we're going to see it again, rent rates came down with apartment complexes. They were offering, 2 months free rent, all this kind of stuff. And then other people that just couldn't afford it. They completely lost their jobs. They're insolvent. They moved in with family members. And we talked about this at their kitchen tables and everything else. And we're seeing it again. And I think we're going to see it even more, where we're going to see generations of people just, moving in with parents and grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles and friends. People are strapped right now more than I've ever seen in my entire life. My battery's about to die. Stick with me, guys. My apologies. Forgot to plug in the old MacBook Air. So we're going to continue to see more and more and more people move in with other people, which is going to hurt investors, real estate investors. Hang on. It's going to hurt real estate investors who were relying on renting properties out, renting at a certain dollar amount, especially if people over leveraged. And it's going to hurt people's I think it hurts you internally. And I felt that. I was there. Like, it's a punch in the gut. I was living this life that was financially irresponsible, and I was overextended and everything else. But even back then, it was like I still had money in my pocket. It wasn't like I was just broke. And meeting other people during that time period, it was like people were broke, but not like it is today. Like, things were just, not as expensive. And I think that is the killer for people. So I encourage you guys to watch that video that Pal did, because I think it's very important. The next thing I want to talk about is, the mortgages and lending and the mass layoffs that are going on there. It's disturbing. What's more disturbing is, well, let me kind of back up. It's disturbing because all of these companies got ahead of themselves financially. They got ahead of themselves. They weren't necessarily being financially responsible, and ultimately it caused layoffs, bankruptcies, and everything else. But you have, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this, Bank of America coming out with a new loan program. It's called the Community Affordable Loan Solutions, which allows first-time home buyers to buy a house with no down payment, no mortgage insurance, private mortgage insurance, and or no closing costs. And it looks like a gray area in terms of their credit reporting as well. They're factoring in if you're on time with rent, utilities, phone bills, etc., but have not actually made a minimum credit score requirement. Now, in the last recession, the great financial crisis, you know, people always talk about, the housing crash the housing market is completely different back then. And I get it. It's completely different than it is today. However, to me, this is predatory lending in itself when you're basically going to people that have issues on their credit, don't have really any money or even a buffer of money in case shit goes wrong. And, let's say they, are unemployed for a couple months or whatever the case is, they'll likely go delinquent on their mortgage right away. We're seeing an astronomical amount of people going after HELOCs and taking out equity on their homes. A lot of people, there's some savvy people like you guys, but there's other people that have, no idea what they're doing. They're just getting themselves further and further into debt, and they're basically financing their liabilities, which is, compounding, and they're going to get hurt. And we're also seeing, and well, I foresee we'll probably start to see some neg am loans happening as well, non-conforming, where you're basically picking your payment, you pay the lowest payment, and it basically doesn't pay all of your principal and interest. Actually, it doesn't pay all of your interest, so that interest keeps getting tacked onto your principal, kind of like a credit card if you're paying the minimum payment. So these things are happening. And then also you got Rocket Mortgage and United Wholesale Mortgage basically hiking up their conforming loan limits from 6, and this is before even FHFA has even approved this. They're basically predicting that they're kind of like almost forcing their hand, maybe, I don't know, or like I don't know if they're lobbying for this or what, but they are hiking their loan limits from 647 to 715, and they're just betting that the FHFA will increase their limits. So these mortgage companies, these finance companies, they're in dire straits. They are hurting. They're in the business to make money. And if they are not lending, they're not making money. And they are doing everything possible to do what they can to lend and lend and lend and lend. And the problem with that, the issue with that is, I think we can all agree that the real estate market is really high in values. It's peaked out. I think we're seeing that. We're seeing that across the board finally. And I say finally in a good way, because yes, I have been saying this for a while now, that eventually it will come to an end and people who are paying peak prices are going to get caught. And now you have all these lenders out there saying, look, take out a loan right now. You don't need any credit. You don't need any money. You got other lenders doing HELOC loans saying, look, you got a bunch of equity in your property. Go ahead and take that equity out of your property and, use it to, do a renovation on your house or put a pool in. So it's just like, this period of time right now, we should be preparing, which is why literally over the last several weeks, myself, my teams, in terms of investing teams, property management for other people, leasing out properties for people, and as well as sales, because we have a team for I can't wait, by the way. I can't wait until there's some really good deals in the market that we could actually bring you guys through. I'll bring you with my team, and we're going to show you properties. We're going to be like, hey, now this is a good deal. And if you guys are interested, there's other like-kind deals in Florida here. If you want to get linked up with one of our teammates, check them out. So we want to bring you guys through those, and we're looking forward to that time period. It's not right now for sure, but it's coming. And so right now we need to be meeting with your team. Is your family, your team is your friends, your team is maybe your business partner. Your team is, maybe you're creating a side hustle and you want a business partner to bring in to hold each other accountable. Right now is the time to be preparing for what's to come. And what's to come is going to be, there's going to be plenty of distressed assets on the streets. And I'm not a financial advisor. I got to put that out there. But I think the writing's on the wall. And if I didn't go through the last great financial crisis, I don't know if I would be saying what I'm saying right now. I don't, because, I felt the pain, but if I didn't feel the pain back then, and if I didn't feel the pain for others back then, I don't think I would be so adamant about where we're at today. And I see clarity. Besides the storm that's out here right now, I am clear. I see what's going on. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't see what's going on. So right now we do need to prepare other things in terms of preparation. And I'm pushing other people that I know, get some sort of side hustle going, make additional income, stack cash. I think that back to what Powell said, 95 billion is going to run off every single month. That means money that's in the system. You're talking about well over a couple $1 trillion is going to come out of the system. And when that happens, people are going to be fiending for cash. They're going to need cash. And this is even with everything. This is with people selling off. Prime example, I bought a boat in the last crash. I paid cash for it, and I think I picked up the boat for like 30 something thousand bucks. Yeah, it was stupid. So it was probably a year and a half later, I needed cash. So what did I do? I sold that boat, and I think I sold it for like 11 grand. And I think I had it up for like 19 grand, and the guy just beat me up, and he was like the only buyer of the boat. But that guy saw what was coming. He was preparing. He knew that there was going to be distressed assets, boats, real estate, everything else. He was prepared. And I was like, I need to be on that end of things when this happens again. And folks, it's here. It's here. To me, it's clear as day. It's here. And I vowed to myself that Steve back then would not be Steve today. And I think that's why I even am pushing on this channel and created this channel, is like, I want to bring all of you guys with me and be like, this is what we're doing, but prepare. And I've been pushing for people to prepare a year ago for this moment, for these moments. And I'm primarily in real estate. And real estate, what people are, real estate's lagging. It's not as fast as, the stock market going down or crypto, whatever the case is. So you get some yahoos that are commenting on this channel, and they're like, you've been saying this is going to happen a year and a half ago, whatever. Heck, I've been saying this before the pandemic. Because before the pandemic, our real estate market, our economy was not in good shape. And then the pandemic hit, and then obviously we all know what happened. So yeah, I was looking at a sick economy prior to the pandemic. And I think that because of the pandemic, it just made this balloon a hell of a lot bigger. And a lot of assets, they're going to crash, and there's going to be distressed assets, and those who are prepared to take advantage of these assets and jump on them are going to make a ton of money. Another thing too is continue educating yourselves. Like I don't know what I don't know. So I'm going to different seminars. I'm picking up books. I literally have a list of books that I still have to put on my Kindle, because every time I hear somebody that I believe in and I think is reputable and everything else, they name out a book, I immediately grab it. I need a lot of catching up, but I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm continually educating myself for what's to come. And also, keep working on credit and everything else, because, taking on debt is probably going to behoove you. If you guys are, watching right now and you want to buy your first home, I would say just get ready and figure out how, watch as many videos as you can on house hacking. I would encourage, when the market crashes, despite if the mortgage rates are really high, you can get probably a really good deal on like a triplex, live in one unit, rent the other two units out, and live for free. And if you're put in that position, you have no worries. And then down the road, when rates come back down, then you do a refi. But house hacking, should be a priority for many of you if you're renting right now and you're looking at buying your first home. If you have a portfolio of real estate, obviously you've done well, and that there's opportunity coming most likely. If you have a couple of properties, you're going to be able to add on for sure, because you might be in an area where the real estate market is still multiple bids and everything else. I get it. Even here in Southwest Florida, there's certain property types and certain price ranges where it's still very competitive. I think the higher end market's going to really, really take a hit. And I'll be interested to see some of those higher end price homes come down, and might be great potential for Airbnb properties. And I think that the last thing too is, setting goals. Right now, we want to have at least 20 million in under management in our real estate firm in the next 2 years. And I think we're going to exceed those goals. So I have a lot of different goals that I write down. I look at pictures and everything else. And those goals I've been able to achieve pretty much every single time, they're written down, and I'm looking at them on a consistent basis. And I think it's powerful. We got 107 people on here. Let me get to some comments or questions or whatever. If you guys want to just chime in, you got something, let's talk. Mikhail Powell, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Southwest Florida housing market, what's happening? Takes time, 10 years to get here. It's going to take some time to play out for sure. It takes absolutely time. Could you give us an opinion about the housing market in the Front Range of Colorado? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, if you got Reventure Consultant, that dude's a superstar in terms of really picking out different areas. I think he's got a like $5 a month too. You join his deal. You can ask him about like specific areas of your market, but outside of that, you can literally just find a good, reputable real estate agent in your area, and really, because real estate one town over can be completely different. So just get a good agent, find out, sit down with them, take them to lunch, pick their brains. That's my biggest advice on that. Thank you, Richard. Way worse. Yeah, more than you can imagine. Got food. Yeah, food. There could be some shortages coming for sure, depending on where you're at too. All cashed up here, Mark, for sure. Where are those areas you can purchase a condo? Nahid. There's going to be a lot of areas. I mean, I think that a lot of people just look in, their neighborhood, and it's important to look outside your neighborhoods and everything else, especially if your neighborhood or area is still increasing in prices. That doesn't make sense. MJ, thank you very much. Will mortgage rates fall to a range 4 to 5% in Q1? One thing that Powell did say, he said, basically the shock to the system. I really encourage you guys to watch it. It was only about 45 minutes. He said if there was a big enough shock, then they would possibly go back in and basically buy assets. So who knows? But I don't think that they're going to slow down in raising rates, and what that'll do to mortgage rates, I don't know. I think mortgage rates might just continue to increase. Could it hit double digit? Possibly. And if it does hit double digit, it can be a good reset for the real estate market. That's when prices will definitely go down. And then if they're far enough down, 10% interest might not be a bad deal, because the payment per month may make sense based on the value of the property. Does anybody drink these things? Celsius? They're pretty good. How do you think this will affect wholesaling? Wu-Tang. We we're going to be doing some wholesale. You can do wholesale deals right now. It's just you got to get the deal. If you guys are into the wholesale game, I've been pushing Pace Morby. We signed up for his mentorship program, and it's all about getting the deal out there. There's a lot of people off market that need to sell their properties quickly. And if you're getting the right deal and you have the investor to pick up that deal, it shouldn't affect you. So you'll probably have in a down market, probably have a lot more opportunity for wholesaling. And you got a lot of, I think we're going to see a ton of tired landlords because they're pissed off about government intervention of not being able to evict tenants from their houses and everything else, and trash in their houses. And I think you have an aging population that do not want to be landlords anymore. So not only do I think that you're going to be able to get opportunities from tired landlords, but if you structure it right, I think you can, work creative financing deals with some of these landlords that'll actually hold paper and do seller financing. And they become the bank. They're still collecting a check, but they don't have to deal with tenants and toilets and everything else, and they're making interest on their money. So I would keep an eye out for those for sure. Orlando, what's up, brother? We still need to do a collab. If you guys want to see me and Orlando do a collaboration, let us know. Small mobile home park. Cash flow, Richard. Steve, do you have any tips on making beds? No. Is my bed showing? How much of a discount do you see in the Tri-County if interest rates go up 10%? I mean, the real estate market is so local that you just don't know. Like every day it's changing. Some areas are like, I just saw 2 different condo complexes here in Fort Myers. They're on the lower end, and a couple of investors that own dozens of units in them just put them on the market. Now, what is that going to do to that little complex in itself? It's just going to destroy the value. So if I own 1 unit and Homeboy just dropped 12 on the market, and actually I think it was 12 in the one place that all had price declines, what does that do to me? He just flooded the market, and if I was trying to sell right now, I got to go under his price. And then let's say I bought it 3 months ago because whatever, I thought I was going to be here, and now I have to sell because of a job relocation, and I'm screwed. So could be a sub 2 deal. When renting is cheaper from investing equity and buying cash. How do you feel about buying tax liens from towns in Long Island? It's crazy, Kathy. I met a seller of a house on Fort Myers Beach a couple days ago, and all he does is he buys vacant land that were tax liens through the court, and he buys those, takes them back, does a quiet title on them after 6 months, and then he sells these properties. He bought them pretty much at discount. Sells these properties not just at retail but over retail. Again, it's vacant land, and he does owner financing on them. And he's been doing this for a long time, and it's a brilliant strategy. So there are so many different ways to make money in real estate, and I'm still learning. And that's why, again, it's the opportunities are coming, but right now is the time to prepare. House hacking is the best way to get going. We did that coming in the Houston market, buying a 4-plex with a little down, then use departing residents. That's awesome, Brandon. Yeah, I mean, if I was a first-time home buyer, I'd be looking for duplex, triplex, 4-plex, try to get in. This is when, real estate values maybe go down in your area. Try get in. You can get in with an FHA loan, 3.5% down. at that point in time, if the seller's motivated, get them to contribute toward your closing cost. In the state of Florida, you put in the, I'm not an attorney, you put in the contract seller to contribute up to 3% toward buyer's closing costs and or prepaids. You get that into the contract, they're responsible for those. And then if you pick up a $200,000 property, you know, you're coming up with, was that seven grand to get into a house, and then you rent those other units out. All right. I plan to kind of, you know, for a while there, I was doing like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 videos a week and just kind of giving article and everything else. But I think I'm just going to pull articles together, maybe do more live streams and just do maybe 2 a week, something like that, just because we're really busy with some other stuff and I have to do videos on other things that we're working on as well. So I will continue to bring my thoughts and everything else to this channel. And as we're getting into some of these projects, which I'm really excited about, as they come up, I'll bring you guys through those projects, show you guys what we're doing, show you guys the income, the expenses, how we got into different projects. And also, if you're going to be investing in real estate in Florida in the future, when prices do turn, I will bring you with some of our partners, some of our teammates to go and show you properties that will probably make sense for you guys in terms of cash flow, whether it's an annual rental or vacation rental. And we'll line you guys up with certain agents out here to help you guys out. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everyone on today, and I will see you guys on the next video. See you.